Hey guys, Matt of Karsic from Of Karsic Films here. Welcome to Movie Madness.
And I'm Matt Gorman from Tundra Portal.
And welcome to our first podcast for movie-going lovers such as yourselves, you beautiful people. Alright, so right now, since this is our first podcast episode, we just have a few topics we're going to talk about. Trying to figure out what our format's going to be. Some things may change in the future if we get more ideas, but this is what it's going to be right now. We hope you enjoy. So, you ready, Matt?
I am ready.
All right, without further ado, let's get on to the first topic, which is 3D movies versus 2D movies.
Yes.
All right, you can go first. What is your take?
I think 3D movies are good, especially 3D movies that are done well. Even movies that are post-converted to 3D, if they do a good job in the 3D, I think it's very effective. And especially, it definitely brings you to the environment, and it immerses the experience. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. See, the problem I have with 3D is that, yes, for some movies it looks cool, for other movies it's just not necessary, and other times it's just... I don't know, it's for me, I feel like it's not 3D enough. Like, I can't... I just, for some things that would be like, oh, that'd be good to, like, kind of pop out. I feel like it doesn't pop out as much. And I guess it's not supposed to, but, like, when 3D first came out, it was all, like, this big thing, like, oh, it's kind of, like, jumping out at you. But that's not the case anymore. Now it's just, like, layering. You can see different, like, layers. Like, if there's a character there in the foreground and then the forest is in the background, you can clearly see the spacing between them. But, in 2D... you don't have to wear the glasses, which a lot of people really hate the glasses. But I think overall, 3D, it's not bad. It does enhance your movie-going experience, but it doesn't, it doesn't... for me, it doesn't put me in the film. It just enhances the movie-going experience.
Yeah, that's true. And it also depends, I remember about 10 years ago I saw Spy Kids in 3D, and that was a movie that said, whoa, 3D is this big thing. And then I saw The Last Harry Potter in 3D, and for me it just felt like the screen was just moved up a little bit, but there's nothing popping out because it was post-converted, so...
Right, like movies that are made to be 3D, look pretty good as in 3D, but if you take an old movie that was never... 3D wasn't even around, like Star Wars Episode 1, when that was re-released in 3D... yeah, it looked pretty cool. Like, some scenes look cool. Like, the pod race scene and the battle scenes, those look cool. But, when they're, at the Senate or, at the Jedi Temple, there's no need for that. If it's made to be 3D, then make it to be 3D.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Alright. If we're all done with that, our next topic, Dolby Atmos and Showcase X Plus.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, if you live in the, I guess you could say the Blackstone Valley region of Massachusetts, there is a theater in Millbury called Blackstone Valley 14 Cinema Deluxe. And about a year ago, they just got a new, they renovated a theater to be what is called the X Plus. Now, for those of you that don't know, the X Plus, the screen is bigger, the light is more evenly distributed. It's a really, it's like the state-of-the-art projection technology. Depending on what theater you go to, it's different, but in that particular theater, it's 64 speaker surround sound. You've got speakers all around on the walls, behind the screen, and 2 rows over your head. So filmmakers can put sound anywhere. 3D presentations are in 7-foot Lamberts, which is almost double a regular 3D presentation, so it actually looks pretty good. And, and it's run by Dolby Atmos, which is the new Dolby Cinema sound. So, let's talk about X Plus. And as you saw, we just got the new X Plus Lounge, which looks pretty fancy.
Saw that, yeah. The lights, I liked it a lot. Actually, speaking of that, I think it was a year ago from the 13th, Friday. That's when I saw Thor: The Dark World. So I was actually there on opening day at the X Plus screen, and it blew my mind when I went there.
Oh, they had a special viewing for the employees. For those of you who don't know, I am an usher at Blackstone Valley Cinema Deluxe 14, and they had a special showing of Pacific Rim, which had already left the theater. But with the new X Plus, they're like, hey, come and check this out. And it was just so beautiful to watch. And it was in 3D, too. It was just so gorgeous, and the sound was just amazing. See, I really love X Plus, and I'm going to say that X Plus is better than IMAX. And here's my reason why. I have sat in many seats in the X Plus. I've even stand on the side. And when there's a 3D presentation in the X Plus, there's no bad angle to look at it from a 3D if you're wearing the glasses. If you go to... I went and I saw Captain America the Winter Soldier in IMAX at the Jordan's Furniture IMAX Theater. And I was with my buddy, and because we got there so late, we had to sit really close to the front. Now, it was... sorry, that's my mom doing stuff in the background. Because we got there late, we were so close to the screen that the screen was like, each end of the screen was on each end of my glasses. And it would just hurt my eyes to watch it, to have to look up and watch it. The seats didn't recline at all. It was just, it really started hurting my eyes. And my buddy even took off his glasses and just watched it, without the glasses. So that's why I think X Plus is actually better than IMAX. Yeah, IMAX is cooler because things, like I said, with 3D, they jump out more. But there are bad angles to look at it with IMAX.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Actually, I went to IMAX a couple weeks ago to see Interstellar. I mean, that was really cool seeing it in 70mm and all. But going back to X Plus and Dolby Atmos, to me, the sound Dolby Atmos, to me that's 3D sound, but I don't think the 3D in the sound is a gimmick, because you actually feel like you're in the theater, and that's the thing, going back to 3D, that's the 3D immersefulness I feel, not the 3D glasses, but the 3D sound, Dolby Atmos, that really brings you into the movie. Right,
and I do want to talk about the X Plus Lounge that we just got. Since it's a podcast, I can't show you pictures, but we renovated what used to be our game room. We used to have a claw machine. We used to have like a many different types of games. The last game we had was like a snowmobile type of game.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And then like a Fast and Furious driving game. And those were pretty cool. But they took the games out and they renovated the whole thing for an X Plus Lounge, which is pretty much this one long couch and like, a bunch of like signs with neon lights that say X Plus, and completely different color scheme to the rest of the theater. And I was really excited about it, but the more I look at it and the more I talk to my fellow employees, the more I came to realize it looks beautiful and it's very catching to the eye, but it has no, like, I can't even think of the word. Like, it just looks beautiful. There's nothing,
no function.
no functionality to it. And a lot of people are like, we really didn't need it. And it's funny because I'm getting like mixed messages from like parents and customers. Like, they'll come in and be like, oh, what's that? And I'll be like, oh, that's our new X Plus Lounge. They're like, oh, didn't there used to be a game room? I'm like, yeah, we got rid of it. I've had half of the parents and customers be like, oh, thank you so much. It saves me money in my wallet. And the kids don't see the games and want to go play them. And other people are like, oh, man, are you kidding me? That's what we were going to use to, kill some time before our movie. So it's really like, I'm really trying to figure out if the X Plus the lounge was a good decision or not. And it's just this one couch. I thought it'd be like, a bunch of different furniture, but I don't know. Like, I guess we'll wait and see. I know next year we're putting in the new deluxe seats in the theater. But I guess they're holding off until next year for that because, we got Hunger Games this week. We've got The Hobbit coming out. So, I guess we wanted to get, like, these big movies out of the way before we gutted the X Plus.
Yeah, only time will tell for the new seating. Well, not the new, well, also the new seating, but the lounge.
But see, here's the thing: is like it costs so much money to do this, and we have to raise the ticket prices because it's such a big theater and you're getting a lot for it. But we don't see a cent of that. All of the ticket money goes to the different film studios, and that's why our concessions and all our food is so high priced, is because that's where our money comes from, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. So, looking at it, it's visual, just visually appealing, but in the long run, is it really going to be a moneymaker?
Yeah.
But and it's already kind of not a moneymaker, because the X Plus by itself right now, it's like, I think it's like $17. I think you would know, Matt.
Yeah. For a 3D ticket, yeah.
Yeah, for like a 3D ticket, and I've never, maybe only once, I've seen that theater almost packed, and that was X-Men: Days of Future Past. For the most part, that theater doesn't get more than maybe 30 people at a time, if that, on a good day. This past summer it's been pretty slow, so we've seen maybe 5-10 people in there at a time. So with these new seats, it's gonna, because right now it can fit about, I think it's like 499, about 500 people in there. With the new deluxe seats, that's gonna break it down in half to about 250, 300 people. So, and ticket prices are still gonna go up, especially for the X Plus. So, are we gonna see a decrease in people again with that theater? Is no one even gonna go to it? So it's like, I don't know. I'm just an usher. It looks cool.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add to my spiel?
No. I think you hit it right in the ballpark about the whole thing. You're spending all that money on the theater, and it's going to raise the ticket prices, and, is it going to look good enough for people to go in the theater and see it in the X Plus screen? I mean, probably one of the big things is, The Hobbit comes out next month, and that's the only movie being shown in the high frame rate, and you can only see the high frame rate in the X Plus screen. So
that's another thing. I hate the high frame rate. Do you like the high frame rate?
It's interesting. It just, the only problem is it takes a while to get used to, because it feels like everything's moving really fast.
I saw, I don't know if it was the first, I think it was the first Hobbit, yeah. The first Hobbit is, when that first came out, the first day the Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey came out, that was my first day on the job at the theater. So I have this little kinship with the Hobbit because, it comes out like on the year anniversary that I've worked there. But I saw it in all three formats. I saw it in 2D, I saw it in 3D, and then I saw it in HFR. And I really hated high frame rate because, they look like they're moving way too fast. It just, and it hurts my eyes. So, like, I don't know whose idea it was to do that, but it was a bad idea.
But yeah, actually, I saw it in the high frame rate first at Milburn, and then I saw it in IMAX 3D. So, yeah. I mean, I liked it at first because, at first, it took me a while to get used to it, and then I liked it. But then I kind of felt like, it feels kind of like TV. It just feels like you're watching like a soap opera or something.
Yeah.
You don't get that 24 frame per second that you're used to. So, if a lot of movies are going to be filmed in the high frame rate, like I know the only other one that's going to be filmed is the Avatar sequels, Avatars 2, 3, and 4. So I guess we'll have to see with that as well.
Well, see, here's the thing about Avatar, is that maybe because of the type of movie it is, it might look better. Because you got to think, you have The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, whatever. It's a very middle-aged type of era. It's they don't have cars, they use horses, they don't have guns, they use swords and magic and all this good stuff. With Avatar being a more technologically advanced, and there's more colors and different type of animals, will it look better in high frame rate than, say, The Hobbit will? I don't know. We'll have to find out. But I think that's probably is what's going to happen, knowing our luck, that Avatar will look better in high frame rate than Hobbit.
The only problem is I don't know if this is a rumor or not, but James Cameron said he might shoot the movie at 60 frames per second, so not 48, so it's going to feel even faster.
Well, I mean, yeah, that'd probably be a problem. Well, again, it depends on the type of movie. That's just my theory, but 60 frames per second, that's going to be pretty quick. So I don't know. That could be a total bust, in my opinion. Because I've heard a lot of people be like, oh, the high frame rate is just awful. It hurts my eyes, especially for people with eye problems.
Yeah.
Like, I've had a lot of people at the theater come out, like, during a Hobbit movie or a high frame rate movie, be like, I can't watch that. I'm getting a headache. It hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
So, we'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Wow, that took a really long time. I just went off. All right, next one is video game movies. Video games adapted into movies. What do you think?
I think if done right, it can be good, but a lot of them haven't had much luck. Like, I think the one that was decent was Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat movie. I don't know if you saw that movie.
I have not had the pleasure. Like, I've heard about it, and I think I've seen snippets.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I know Lara Croft Tomb Raider. That was pretty good. Both of them were pretty good.
Yeah, those are good. Have you seen Doom?
I have seen Doom.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite games growing up as a kid. And the movie wasn't, the best. But I think the reason why is because they watered down the script. I mean, if you look at Doom, Doom's a video game where it takes place on one of Mars's moons. They create a portal to hell, and everything breaks loose, and they have to kill all these zombies. But in the movie adaptation, it's about they go to Mars, and there's a certain 24 chromosomes that makes you either superhuman or turns you into a zombie. So they kind of completely changed everything.
I mean, I really, really liked the movie Doom, and here's my reasons why. If you look at the video game, it's a first-person shoot-'em-up game, right? You're just shooting these, a lot of people look at the story, and a lot of people like the story behind it, and that's fine. But if, I'm a simpleton. I look at things, very black and white sometimes. Like, if it's an action movie, it's just, mindless action. Like,
Yeah.
I was just talking to my girlfriend about this. Transformers. Critics and sometimes audiences, they bash the hell out of the Transformer movies and Michael Bay and all that. And I'm like, you know what? It's giant robots fighting other giant robots that transform into vehicles. There's explosions. It's mindless action. If you want to kill 2.5, 3 hours, go see Transformers, because it's just fun, mindless action. That's what some people like. That's what I like. So, like, if you're playing a first-person shooter, it's mindless action. There's no thought to it. Yeah. And with the Doom movie, they had I would say a decent story plot. But
I will say, one thing they did introduce was the first-person scene where it looked like you were on the camera, kind of like a
Don't beat me to that part, because I was just about to get into that.
Okay.
Like, yeah, they had a pretty decent story, but at the end of the day, you watch Doom because it's, a bunch of Marines or military people just shooting guns at these monsters and, guts and all that good stuff. And boy, did I geek out when they had that 5-minute scene of, like, the first-person looking shooter. Yeah. I geeked out. Yeah. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, that was amazing.
But yeah, it's very difficult because with games, there's endless possibilities. Now, to take that and put it into a movie... Now, games... People will play games for, like, days, weeks, months, years on end to try and complete them. You can't have that amount of story in a movie. You have to really cut it down.
In 2 hours, yeah.
Yeah. So you have to pick the right parts, the right dialogue, the right people to do it, so you can convey an entire video game into 2.5, maybe 3 hours.
Yeah, I think going back to Doom, I really do appreciate the fact that they took the entire game and put it into 2 hours. You gotta appreciate that. So I think that's one reason why I do, and it's really hard because I think the main reason why people don't like video game adaptations is they control the characters in the video games, but in the movie they're watching a movie on a screen. They don't have a controller in their hands. They're not not controlling them at all. They're not moving around. They're just sitting on a seat watching a movie.
See, with video game movies, it's either you hit it and it's great, or you miss it and it's crap. And it also depends on the type of game. You might have to add stuff like Need for Speed. That came out not too long ago. And the video game, it's just you driving a car and racing.
Yeah.
You have to add a story in that movie if you're going to make a Need for Speed movie. So, sometimes people don't like that. Sometimes people thought, oh, this story is stupid. Well, what do you want us to do with a game that's just racing?
Right. But I did like the movie a lot. Need for Speed, it was a good movie.
Like, I feel like that games that have a pretty solid story could work. Like, there's a game that I'm very interested in playing. I've watched Let's Plays and walkthroughs online. It's called Outlast. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it, yeah.
That, I think I would love to see an Outlast movie. I would very much love to see it because I love scary stuff. I love scary movies, scary games. I love being scared. And with the way that, the kind of the horror genre is going, like, I've thought about this. Like, back in the day, horror was a guy in a mask with some sort of weapon, maybe it was a chainsaw, maybe it was a knife, chasing people. Sometimes he was fast, sometimes he was slow, like Michael Myers, and that was horror. Nowadays, it's all about the found footage and, like, especially, like, kind of ghosts and spirits and paranormal stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that seems to be dying down because it's, it's being done so much.
Right.
I would love to see kind of like a combination of the two. Because that's what Outlast is. Outlast is a game about you're in an insane asylum and there's like weird looking mutant people in there and just like a lot of jump scares and just it's a great story, great video game, and I would love to see somebody make it into a movie.
Yeah.
If done right, it could be a good movie based off a video game.
Imagine seeing that next Plus.
Oh my god.
But yeah, actually, I heard Sony is gonna make a Last of Us movie. I don't know if you ever played The Last of Us for the PS3.
I love The Last of Us. I have played that. Wow. So Sony, did they say that they're making it?
Yeah, they're making it, and the little girl from Game of Thrones is gonna be the daughter, not the daughter. I think Ellie.
Ellie, yeah.
Yeah.
See, what's funny is that Sony, a lot of people think Sony are going under. Not just Sony movies, because that's where they're getting their money, but like Sony products, they're going down the drain, which is why they're in talks with Marvel Studios about giving them the rights to Spider-Man back.
Right, yeah, I heard about that. So,
like, who knows? Maybe the Last of Us movie could, bring them back. I don't know, but like, I would be really excited to see Spider-Man in an Avengers movie.
That would be great.
And it's pretty much like I've made this analogy to a few friends. It's like Sony's going under, so it's like Sony's talking to Marvel Studios, and 20th Century Fox is in the background chucking the middle finger at them and be like, "Yeah, we got X-Men."
Yeah. Oh, man.
All right. Is that all we have to say on that matter?
Yeah, I'm all set. You want to go to the big one, the one I want to talk about?
Yeah, you want to talk? All right, let's go. Star Wars Episode 7, the hype. Go for it, Matt.
Well, I just want to say, obviously I've been a Star Wars fan, since I was a kid. Watched them, on VHS, and they blew my mind. And I think J.J. Abrams is going to do a great job. And the reason why I want to start off with this, because I just read online, in a couple of weeks they might be showing a trailer either online or in front of The Hobbit. I mean, that'll be great. I mean, the title's going to be The Force Awakens. I think that's a great title. What do you think of the title, Matt?
I was actually... I don't want to say I wasn't thrilled with the title because, hey, they just gave us this title for the new Star Wars. And anybody who knows me knows that I grew up with Star Wars. I love Star Wars to the max. Like, even the prequels, everyone's like, oh, the prequels, they suck. And I'm like, I still love them. It's Star Wars. At the end of the day, I don't care if Jar Jar is the worst animated character to hit screens.
Yeah.
Like, I still love Star Wars.
Because it's still Star Wars. That's the thing.
Exactly. It's a world that we've never seen, that we would love to see, and it's you just lose yourself in this world. But looking at all the different titles, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and then you have The Force Awakens. I don't know if it's just me, like it sounds good, but I don't know. Something about it just hit me the wrong way. Like it doesn't feel like a typical Star Wars title. Like, you know, I was expecting like Star Wars Path of the Younglings or something like that. I don't know.
I know it was originally supposed to be the Ancient Fear, right?
I never heard that.
Oh yeah, I think it was an Ancient Fear. I think Conan O'Brien talked about that, but they must have changed.
If they released it like that, that tickles me. I like that. An Ancient Fear. That really gets me like, oh, what is this fear? You know, what is it? You know, how ancient is it? You know, but like The Force Awakens, I may be reading too much into this, but like, isn't the Force already awake? The Force doesn't die. You know,
and you know, I guess it could mean a lot of things. I mean, you know, maybe it was sleeping since Return of the Jedi. I don't know. It could mean anything. But then again, they could change the title within a year because you know it's in about less like a little under a month in a year until a new Star Wars movie comes out. So I know. For Return of the Jedi, it used to be, wasn't it Revenge of the Jedi, and then they changed the name to Return of the Jedi.
That's right, because George Lucas said Jedi don't seek revenge, so they changed. But then they used Revenge of the Sith, so he kind of brought it back.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. See, The Force Awakens, like it's like Ben Kenobi says. The Force is an energy field that binds all living things. It surrounds us, it penetrates us, it binds the galaxy together. If it's sleeping, well, I guess you could say the Empire, you know, caused chaos in the galaxy, so the Force was out of balance. I don't know. I feel like the Force never... Jedi and Sith both use the Force, and the Force has been used in all the movies, so I feel like it was never really sleep... I don't know. I'm probably just reading too much into it. It sounds like a good title. I'm still excited for Episode 7. And when I heard JJ was coming on, I just kind of sat back and I'm like, you know what? He's got this. You know, he did a great job with these new Star Trek movies, Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness, and I know, coming straight from that, and especially because he is a huge fan of Star Wars, he's going to do it justice.
Exactly. I think it's cool that too that he's shooting on film because if you guys don't know, Episode 2 was the first movie to be shot digitally, and that started that whole trend with like, you know, digital cinema and film, like what's better, film or digital. But you know, the fact that he's shooting Episode 7 on film is kind of cool. That, you know, he's given a nod to the original trilogy that was shot in film. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's I do enjoy that, and it's gonna be nice to see like all the people back again.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of new people, you know, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little weird, you know, seeing them older and stuff, but you know, it's still gonna be great.
Yeah. I can't wait to see who the villain is, and a lot of people are like, oh, it's gonna suck because, you know, all the Sith are dead, you know, but I'm sure that there's, you know, gonna be some sort of Jedi-Sith battle because it's not Star Wars without a Jedi-Sith battle.
Right.
But I'm really excited, and I really hope the rumors are true that we're going to be getting... I didn't expect a trailer this year.
Yeah, me either.
For Star Wars. I don't care if it's a teaser. It's going to be, you know...
Even if it's just like 30 seconds of like, you know, one shot, it's going to...
my nipples will get hard.
Oh my
god. Do you have anything else you want to add? I'm done.
No, I'm all set too.
Okay. Alright, next topic, movie-going experience versus Redbox/Netflix.
I'd say, you know, if you get a chance, definitely see a movie in a theater. I mean, you know, if you don't have the option to see a movie in a theater, you can, you know, use Netflix or Redbox, but there's nothing like going to the movies. That's my opinion, you know, just hands down.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I mean, nothing beats the movie-going experience because... You know, it's like an adventure. You gotta pick what movie you're gonna go see. You gotta pick the showtime. You gotta go there, get your tickets, get your snacks, and find your seats. And it's just such a great... I think that's why, like, dinner and a movie is, like, the number one, like, first date or whatever type of date you go on with a girl or guy, whatever your preference is. I'm not prejudiced. Like, well, for me, with you, it's probably different. But for me, because I work there, the movie going experience changes. Because then you have to find time to go see a movie. Sometimes I go by myself, which isn't always desirable, but if I want to see a movie, then I don't care. And working there, I get to see a lot of movies. And I get to see little snippets of them, especially like the end when I have to go in and clean. So sometimes it gets ruined for me. Like, I tried not to go into Fury, because I haven't seen Fury yet.
Oh, yeah.
But, it's almost out of the theater. Especially, I think it's going to be gone by the end of the week, because we got Hunger Games, and that's going to take up, 5 theaters. I almost said 15. There's only 14 theaters out there. But yeah, Hunger Games is going to be really big. It's going to push a lot of older movies out. Like John Wick. I think John Wick only has 1 or 2 showings now. John Wick is going to go.
I saw that movie ticket just 11:15 and then 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah. So yeah, so I walked into Fury, I think it was yesterday, to clean it, and I saw the end of it, and I was like, oh, Brad Pitt dies. Spoiler alert, sorry.
Yeah. But I did see Fury. I liked it a lot. I saw it with my dad. Actually, that was the first movie I saw with my dad in 13 years. That's how long it's been since he's been to the movies.
Wow. Good for you guys. Did he like it?
Yeah, he liked it a lot.
I if I went to see it, I know I would like it, because I like movies like that.
But yeah, it was really good.
And plus, John Bernthal is in it, and I know him as Shane from The Walking Dead, and I love The Walking Dead, and I love to hate John Bernthal, because he's such a dick, but I love him for it. But yeah, there's nothing can compare to the movie-going experience. I don't care if you have, your own home theater in your house. There's nothing like actually going to the movies. Yes, Redbox and Netflix, they're good for a rainy day in, or catching up on shows or something. But if you want the true experience, and plus the popcorn, there's nothing like movie theater popcorn.
Exactly. I mean, I go to I work at Hannaford and Uxbridge, and they sell movie theater popcorn there, the butter. With everything, and I pour it over there. I make the popcorn, I make the butter, but it's still not the same as the actual theater popcorn. You can't beat it.
Right.
But yeah, I think so. Even going to something like the drive-in, even the drive-in is a good experience.
I think the drive-in is a very classic experience, because before definitely. Theaters there was a drive-in.
Right.
And I don't know what it is, just the drive-in, it's something I think everybody should experience at least 5 times in their life.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, my mom and I, we used to go to the drive-in all the time, and I wasn't always awake for everything, but it's just, I don't know what it is about the drive-in, it's as fun, if not more so, than going to the theater.
Yeah, it's also a double feature, at the Men in Twin Drive-In, $25 for a car for 2 movies, that's a good deal.
Exactly, that's why I'm surprised drive-ins aren't coming back, especially at the Menden Drive-In. You get, this is what I tell people, for the price of a movie ticket and some concessions at a theater, at the drive-in you get 2 movies, you can park wherever you want, you don't even have to leave your car, okay? And you can bring your own food. You can bring, a car full of people. All that for $20. Whereas at a theater, $20 will, depending on what theater you go to, if you're in the X Plus, that's it. But if you go to a regular showing in a regular theater, you get your ticket and maybe a drink and a bag of popcorn, if that. So it's definitely more profitable to go to the drive-in, which, surprises me that they're not coming back.
Yeah. But, if you guys don't know, the Endelman brothers, the Phantom Gourmet people, they bought the Men in Twin Drive-In, and they've been adding a lot of cool stuff at the drive-in.
I was so hell-bent on going to the drive-in this summer, and I didn't get to it. I was never able to get there. So hopefully next year will be the year I get to make it.
Oh, on a side note, when I went there, I only went once this year. I saw Goonies and Raiders of the Lost Ark. That was great. I think going back to the drive-in, seeing classic movies in the drive-in is really cool too. When they get the chance to show movies in the drive-in.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm getting a cough drop.
Oh, no problem. Also, what about classic movies on the big screen? Going back to seeing movies on the big screen. I saw Ghostbusters at Millbury. That was cool.
Yeah, I think we can, if we're done with movie-going experience, that's a good transition into our next topic, movie nostalgia.
Yes, definitely.
I didn't get to see, well, I kind of did, kind of didn't, because I worked there. I did see Ghostbusters on the big screen, but I didn't see it from front to end. But yeah, that's movie nostalgia for me. Like, seeing a movie that you never saw on the big screen return to the big screen, then you get to see it on the big screen. That's like, a tear going down my face moment.
Right.
Especially, like, again, Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace re-released in 3D. I don't remember going to the theater to see it. I don't think I did, but seeing it again on the big screen was just in 3D. A tear just came down my eye. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, as soon as you saw the opening call, Star Wars,
Yeah. And like old movies that you never saw on the big screen. Like we had Halloween and Saw these past couple weeks. Well, not these past. I know Halloween we had on Halloween Day, and then Saw we had for a few weeks. It just left the theater about a week or so ago. But yeah, like that's nostalgia for me.
Definitely, yeah. Let's see. Oh, I saw last year. I saw Wizard of Oz in IMAX 3D. That was really cool.
Yeah.
My father wasn't even alive when they were filming that movie. That's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, I know, right?
39, yeah.
I know that, and I guess, like, recently I've noticed that Netflix has kind of been giving me nostalgia. Like, recently I saw one of my favorite not old movies, but, like, this movie was, like, my favorite when I was a kid. The Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars.
Oh, really?
I saw that on Netflix, and I lost it, man.
Yeah.
So, like, movie nostalgia, it gives you a type of feeling that, you can't describe it. It's just like...
Yeah, like Jurassic Park, seeing that on the big screen, that's like a childhood movie.
Yeah, like, it just warms your heart, I guess. I'm trying not to be too corny. Because I know I'm being judged. Alright, that's all I have to say.
But yeah, I definitely agree, Movie nostalgia, that's the reason why we go to the movies, to get that feeling again, but even if it's a new movie, just... It's, you can't really put words to it. You have to experience it.
Exactly. Alright, so what's our next topic?
Movie collection, memorabilia.
Yep. Boy,
Yeah.
oh boy, do I have... Working at a theater, let me tell you, it's great. Because I get a lot of movie stuff, like posters and signs and cardboard cutouts. Like, you should see my room. And I have, like, collectible 3D glasses. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, every time I get a collectible glasses at X Plus, I keep them.
Yeah. Like, I keep mine in the bag because the value's more, but...
Yeah, I got my Hobbit one in the bag.
Yeah. Oh, I've got, like, a cardboard cutout of Spider-Man on my wall. I've got, like, at least 7 posters, maybe. I've got this big cardboard poster that takes up at least 5/8 of my wall. X-Men Days of Future Past.
Oh, nice.
I've got a cardboard cutout of Bard from The Hobbit.
Nice.
And this big box of 3D glasses. And I actually just picked up The Penguins of Madagascar 3D glasses.
I didn't know they made one.
Well, these are like they're not collectibles, but they're different. So I just pick them up.
Yeah, right.
I've got the collector's cups. I have a problem, Matt. I have a serious problem.
There's nothing wrong with collecting too much stuff.
There is a problem with collecting too much stuff, Matt. I live in an apartment. I don't have room for this.
Yeah, I guess you're right. The question is, how much Star Wars stuff are you gonna collect when Episode 7 comes out?
Oh my God, I'm gonna get kicked out of my house. I swear. I feel like every week I'll find something to bring home because you know that they're gonna promote that in the worst way. And like I'm gonna bring like so much stuff home to the point where like both my mom and my girlfriend simultaneously are gonna be like, just get out. Just get out.
Yeah, it's gonna be me or the cardboard.
Yeah. Oh man. That question better not come up.
No, you should just get open up a I don't know, do they have like warehouses you can get? Just have a warehouse full of all your movie collectible stuff.
I know. I should just like rent like a storage unit and just like hang it all up, and it'll be like my man cave. Like when I need my alone time, I'll go into my man cave and look at all my nerd stuff.
Yeah, you open up the storage thing, you turn the light on, it's just like, a couch, a little projector and everything, and all the posters, cardboard.
Don't give me ideas, Matt. Gosh. Oh, I might have to do that now. Right. Anything else you want to say on that matter?
No, I mean, like you said, I collect stuff, like glasses and everything. Obviously have a Star Wars movie poster I got framed up and everything, and I usually collect all the posters, I can get, and yeah.
Yeah, I see Tron Legacy right behind you.
Yeah, I got, hang on a sec. I'm trying to move the laptop. I got Star Wars framed. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, that's my calendar. There it is. Star Wars framed up.
Nice. Not like the audience is going to see it.
Yeah. I'll take a screenshot, if I can upload the podcast to YouTube, I'll do like a slideshow and show some pictures and stuff.
Yeah. Alright, shall we... what are we at? We're at 42 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's keep going.
Wow.
What's next? IMDb versus Rotten Tomatoes.
And I also wrote like a little side note, should ratings matter? Like to you?
That's an interesting question. Well, first off, let me just say that I think in terms of IMDb ratings and Rotten Tomato ratings, Rotten Tomatoes hands down the best place for ratings. Okay?
Yeah.
IMDb, on the other hand, is the best place for movie info.
Right.
And like trailers and stuff like that, if you ask me, because they have, they'll tell you like the cast, the crew, and I know Rotten Tomatoes does that too, but they're more about ratings. IMDb, they'll have trivia, they'll have like all this, cool stuff. They are the Internet Movie Database. Everything you want to know about a movie is right there. Now, if you want to know ratings and who said what about films, Rotten Tomatoes is the way to go. Because they'll give you critic reviews and viewer reviews, like customer reviews.
Yeah.
But should ratings matter? Yes, I believe they do.
Yeah.
I believe they should because, I mean, it's difficult because I'm not very nitpicky. Sometimes. But I feel like ratings should matter because, sometimes you agree with the ratings. And sometimes you don't. And it's funny. Like, let me give you an example of a rating that I agreed with and a rating I didn't agree with. I'm on my phone, so I can't pull it up. I know that Tammy, that just came out with Melissa McCarthy, did very, very badly. And I agree with that because I went and I saw the movie and I didn't think it was that great. Lucy, on the other hand, did very, very well. A lot of people went to see it. I, however, did not like it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and spoil it, but in my opinion, and my manager made this analogy, and I thought it was the best analogy. The smarter that Scarlett Johansson's character got, the stupider the movie got. So, like, in the beginning, it was like, okay, all this science stuff, they're making it make sense. It sounds like it makes sense. It could be some BS. I don't know. But then as she got smarter, and she developed all these, she could access more of her brain and do all this stuff, and then she, I don't know, it just started to, lose my grip, or lose its grip on me. So, like, ratings are good to get kind of like an idea of where people are at with this movie, but until you go see the movie, you're never going to know. Because you might have your own rating.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's your own opinion.
Yeah. Like, everybody could hate, a movie, and you go and see it, and it could become your favorite movie in the world.
Right.
So, I think ratings do matter, because not to, figure out, oh, this movie is bad because this person says so, or this is why this person says this movie bad. Ratings are a way to kind of gauge where it's at. And until you go see it and form your own opinion, Because if you don't look at ratings, you could, and it also helps to figure out what movie you want to go see.
Right.
Like, you could, I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
You could just walk into a theater and go into a movie without knowing anything about it. And it could be the worst movie, or it could be the best movie, but you don't know. So I think ratings do help.
Exactly.
Do you have anything to say?
Sorry, I'm just thinking. At the end of the day, it all depends on your opinion. Like say, I've definitely gone to see a movie that people have said it bad that I still liked, and I've seen movies that everyone says amazing, and I don't think it was the greatest movie in the world. So it all you can check Rotten Tomatoes or the user ratings and the critic ratings, and you can go to the movie and have your own opinions. So that's why they have the user ratings in the first place, and they have like websites like Letterboxd where you can write your own review for movies and stuff.
Yeah, like it's funny because for the longest time, my coworkers is like, "Oh, Matt, what's your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie?" I'm like, well, I saw Django Unchained. That was pretty good. They're like, no, you gotta see Inglourious Bastards. That's like one of his best. Oops. That's like one of his best. And I finally saw it about a week or so ago, and I really didn't like it that much. So, like, that's... I gotta do this somewhere else because there's too many distractions. But yeah, that's another thing about, like, ratings and people's opinions. People have their opinions. My friends think Inglourious Bastards was the best Quentin Tarantino movie. I didn't think it was so hot. So, it all comes, full circle.
Right.
All right. Assuming we're done, the next topic is. I came up with a name for this topic since it's one of our last topics. You said the last movie we saw. I like this little title: Viewed and Reviewed.
Oh yeah.
I like that. So
I like it.
We both saw Big Hero 6 the other day. You go first. What did you think of it?
I thought it was fantastic. I liked it a lot. Without spoiling anything, there is an after credits scene because it's kind of a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I just thought the whole thing, it was fantastic.
Unfortunately, I had because I went in early on a day I had to work, and I went to go see it, and I couldn't finish it because I had to go on my shift. But it was at the end, and I pretty much know what happens at the end. But I loved it so much. I love Baymax. I wish we would start funding Baymaxes. Because he is so huggable. Like, I just want to jump on the screen and hug him. And I love the story. I love the characters. I love the struggle. I guess I'm trying not to spoil anything, but the struggle that our main character hero goes through in the beginning. You know what I'm talking about. And he decides to be, turn into kind of, I guess you could say, a superhero to conquer it. But the one thing that I thought was a little bit too overdone was the falling of the group towards the middle, where they're kind of not working together, they don't know what they're doing, and Hero's got his own agenda, while the others are like, wait, you said this, you didn't say that. I thought that was way too, I think they overdid that. Yes, that is the perfect way to go if you want, a coming together type of story. But if you know what I'm talking about, I felt like that point where I'm trying to think of something that's where he does what he does to Baymax. That's very bad. I thought that was way too pushing it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right, right.
But overall, I absolutely love the movie. And I love the Fall Out Boy song that plays at the end credits.
Yeah.
Immortals. I sing along every time I'm in the theater. And I absolutely love the end credit scene. I'm not going to spoil it for you because once you see it, you'll know why I love it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add?
No, that's pretty much it. I love the movie, and I'd say, just go see it.
Yeah. All right, our last topic for today, we're running on 52 minutes. Wow. Yet you thought it was going to be a 10-minute podcast. Upcoming movies. What movies are upcoming?
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games, definitely. This week we have Hunger Games. What do you think about Hunger Games? You going to go see it?
Yeah, probably, yeah. I think so.
I loved the first Hunger Games, and I liked the second Hunger Games. I'm not saying I'm not going to love Mockingjay Part 1, but I feel like what made the Hunger Games, the first one, so great was because it was such a different type of society. And, while most people will watch, football or basketball or hockey, these guys watch kids in a fake arena kill each other. And they call it a sport. That intrigues a lot of people, and it intrigued me. And I love the story, and I love the characters and the obstacles, but I feel like now it's more becoming like a war type story. It's not about the games anymore, it's about this war and this revolution. So I kind of feel like they're pulling away from the games aspect of it. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be the best. But I feel like in terms of a story, and people are going to disagree with me, I'm going to get so much hate. But I feel like, it's very different.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be different because I don't know if there's going to be any more arenas or anything. So it's definitely going to be different from the first two movies. It's not going to be any of that sports that you're talking about, or killing each other. But I mean, there obviously probably is going to be death. And,
maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maze Runner. I didn't get to see Maze Runner, but I wanted to. And the way that it ended sounded like there's going to be more. And I talked to somebody who read the books, a customer who read the books. She's like, oh yeah, there's other books. There's going to be more. And I'm like, so what is it going to be? Are they going to be in another maze? Or is it going to be like the Hunger Games where it's like a revolution or something?
Right. I saw the Maze Runner. It was a really good movie too, so it definitely will be different. I'm not going to spoil the ending or anything, but the sequels are definitely going to be a lot different from the original.
Yeah. But that's my feeling about Hunger Games. I'm probably going to enjoy it greatly. Because, I mean, you know, it's Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
I think it's going to be good. It's definitely going to be different, but I have hope for it. It's going to be good.
And then next week, what do we got next week? We got Horrible Bosses 2 and Penguins of Madagascar.
And then next month, the big one, The Hobbit.
The Hobbit.
Final one, Battle of the Five Armies.
Yes. Let me ask you something before we sign off on our first episode. How do you feel about Jackson changing the name? Because originally it was The Hobbit There and Back Again, which is the title of the book that Bilbo writes, to The Battle of the Five Armies.
I think it's definitely different. I mean, maybe it could be a good thing. I guess we'll have to find out when we see the movie. But I think the real reason is why Peter Jackson changed the title is because, you know, obviously, as you know, he split the movie into 3 movies. But to do that, he had to add a lot of the short stories within The Hobbit that J.R.R. Tolkien wrote. So to make it, you know, almost 3 hours for each movie. So to kind of expand everything, that's probably the most fitting title that you could think of. That's my opinion of why he changed the title. What do you think?
I know I saw something or read something that said he changed the title because in the second movie, because you're right, it was supposed to only be 2, but for some reason we have to have 3. And in the second movie, spoiler alert, they get to the mountain. So they're already there. So it's not about getting there, it's about the battle, which that's going to be the main focus of the last movie, is the battle. And so instead of it being There and Back Again, which I kind of like that title because, you know, it's it comes straight from the book. You know, it's The Battle of the Five Armies, which, don't get me wrong, it's a really badass title. And it sounds good in a movie announcer voice, like, The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. I don't know, like, there's something about people changing their minds that really gets me. It's like, just stick with it.
Yeah.
Because people are going to go see it no matter what you call it. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add?
No, I like you said, you know, even if they change the title, you know, I'm still going to see the movie. I'm excited for it. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really good, you know, conclusion to the trilogy.
The saga now.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit saga.
See, I think it's going to be bittersweet. Because unless there's something else that he's going to do, which I doubt, because he had so much trouble getting the Hobbit off the ground.
Right.
I think this is it for Middle-earth.
Yeah.
But, all right, we're going on an hour with this podcast. Thank you guys for joining us on our first podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Didn't think we'd get through the whole list today, but wow, I guess, you know.
Yeah. It's been great. Look for more podcasts in the future. We'll be talking about more or less, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see if I don't go on my rants. Tune in next week for an all-new podcast. Podcast number 2. Hopefully we'll, you know, I don't know, be more entertaining, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I'm Matt of Karsik Film Studios.
And I'm Matt Gorman from Tundra Portal.
And we will see you next week.
All right, see ya.